Hello and welcome to Last Time Studios Top 10 Things You Probably Didn't Know About the Fast and the Furious. You see, here at Last Time Studios we love the Fast and the Furious franchise, but we still think the first one is always going to be the best. So here's 10 things we hope you didn't know about the Fast and the Furious. Let's go. Number 10. The first sequence where the crew steal the goods, this was actually taken from John Ford's Stagecoach. How? Well, imagine the truck is the stagecoach, the Hondas are the horses, and the bad guys are the ones dressed in black. There's a few extra things to note from the scene, one of them being that the safety ramp was digitally removed. The director felt that the iconic stunt, slipping the Civic under the truck, helped them increase the gross of the picture by about 50 million. Number 9. The green eclipse on this shot was filmed on the first day of shooting. It was at this point when the decision was made in terms of the stylistic approach to shooting and VFX based transitions. Coming in at number 8. The love interest between Michelle Rodriguez and Vin Diesel's characters wasn't really in the script. This was developed on the first week of shooting, mainly to establish Letty's presence within the film. Number 7. Ja Rule came on set, and at that point he didn't have much of a character to play, so him and the director got together and improvised a few things, one of them being the menage a trois if he won the drag race. Obviously, of course, through Ja Rule they got the song Do It Fast, Do It Furious. Class. More about Ja Rule at number 6. So the girl who played Monica wasn't an actress, she was actually just part of Ja Rule's entourage. As the director had come up with the idea of the menage a trois, they needed an actress to play the part. She was there, they asked her to give it a go. She already knew Ja Rule quite well, and it worked out pretty good. Number 5. When the green eclipse was blown up, no one wanted to do it because it was such a beautiful car. When it was blown up, the director's son was actually so upset that he didn't speak to his father for weeks afterwards. Number 4. The director went for an earthy acting performance between Paul Walker and Jordana Brewster to keep the chemistry relatable due to the striking looks of both of them. So rather than them look all amazing and glossy, with a polished performance, it was edited to be down and earthy. Clever lighting at number 3. There's several scenes that were shot in the dark of night, well, parts of the scenes anyway. When Brian's breaking into the garages to check the spoon engines,
3 Honda Civics with spoon engines.
Vin Diesel's shots were actually filmed during the day, the close-up shots at about 8 AM. So later on in the garage around the corner, Paul Walker's shots were actually shot at 4 AM. The film was shot on a budget of $38 million, which is, it sounds a lot, but it's really tight for the production team, meaning they were always fighting the clock. This shot here was kept alive by very clever lighting, trying to get the scene finished in one day as it was getting darker and darker. Just shows you how long it takes to get these things perfect. Number 2. For the visual look of the film and to make the cars pop, they asked permission for the houses around the area to be painted white or grey. That's a pretty cool move. Before we tell you about the final fact, here's a few other things that you might not know. The super build was actually supposed to be a montage, however it was rearranged as multiple scenes going on at the same time. The actor here was actually an extra and he was asked by the director to do this. Seems to be following a pattern there, but it all worked out well. The director thought he did it really well, but sadly Glenn Ortler's not really gone on to do much more. It's a tough world in Hollywood. There are 2 supers here. Nowadays it would all be done by CGI, or mostly. But why have 1 super when you can have 2? Rick Hume wanted the fight to be more equal, and the director didn't. It's sometimes hard for the actors to have to submit to the plot, but the director thought, you know, if you get punched by Dom, that's it, lights out. Agreed. In the final heist, which took 3 to 4 weeks, the stunt team had the cars on a rig driven by stuntmen, not by the actors themselves, obviously. The shot here, this super, was actually completely digital. Amazing shot. Wow, I can't believe that, to be honest. It's crazy. In the end sequence, Brian beats Dom in the last quarter-mile race. Yes, Dom's got mechanical problems, but so did Brian in the first race. Just one of those things conveniently forgotten. There were 3 or 4 endings shot as requested by the studio, but the ending you see is the one that Rob Cohen wanted. Funny how that ends up. Rob also mentions at the end of the commentary on the 2002 DVD, old school, is Jesse still alive? Well, I wish he was. I mean, maybe there could have been a spin-off film where Jesse and Leon got together, they come back to the garage, and it goes back to the grassroots of the first film. If only. Did you know that the only writing the director did was the dinner scene between Brian and Mia? The original scene was written, but as the film was progressing, it didn't feel right, so he wrote it all again. The scene actually ended up being shot in the real restaurant Cha Cha Cha, rather than some sort of studio setup. Great choice. Last but not least, number 1. The barbecue scene was nearly all improvised. There were actually several cuts. Initially, Brian tried to make peace with Vince, but it was felt Brian was a tougher character, so that was completely cut out. Brian's actually the character who passes the beat to Vince, but a line was put in front by Leon to make it seem like he passed the beat to Vince. Pretty cool. Thanks for watching our first installment and our first attempt at a video on YouTube. We hope you all enjoyed it, and I'd love it if you could click the like and subscribe button, smash those buttons. See ya!